What's going on, YouTube? This is Necrostevo, and it is time for another battle video. Now, I have to admit, I'm pretty happy to be uploading this whole week because I get awesome battles. I had a crappy day, so let's just get right into this match here. This is a battle that I had against Alex. This was a really good match. I'll leave my opponent's Twitter handle in the description, by the way. But anyways, we have Pyroar starting out here. I find that he's a pretty decent lead. I still have not picked out an actual team. You guys may have noticed I just kind of use random things like I always do, but I am looking to pick out a team for X and Y here. I knew he was going to paralyze me. It was a matter of what do I want him to paralyze, and I settled on Pyroar, kind of being the thing most apt to take a paralysis, because I really didn't want anything else to take that. I was really surprised that that flamethrower did that much damage. That means Fire Blast would have been a clean to it KO even after leftovers. And unfortunately for me, he gets the boost off of the Ancient Power, so that means there's no way I can KO him this time. Even min-max damage going on there. And that boost is very unsettling. Having a Togekiss with +1 in almost every stat, besides HP of course, is very weird. I don't think I've ever faced that. Fortunately, Pyroar was able to put the Togekiss at low enough HP that I can bring something in that can handle it. Now, I decided to go out into Gengar. This will give me a chance to Mega Evolve, and unless he switches out, which that would be fine with me if I forced him to switch out there, he would lose his boost. He's going to die to a Stab's super effective Sludge Bomb. That is very, very relieving, because I've been swept by Togekiss before that did not have +1 attack, speed, special defense, physical defense. I've been swept by those before, so it was nice to not have to deal with that. Now Goodra comes in. I wasn't sure why he brought Goodra in on my Gengar, other than perhaps he just knew it could take a hit, which Goodra definitely can. But at the same point, I didn't really know if I could 2 KO with Dazzling Gleam. And at this point in the battle, I was still thinking that my Gengar was necessary to outspeed MegaManectric, which is, we'll find out about that later on. Now, I wasn't really expecting Goodra to have Fire Blast. I was expecting it to have Flamethrower, and I know my Gorgeist can live a Fire Blast. I mean a Flamethrower, but he has Fire Blast, so he's able to knock me out. I kind of make a silly move and go out into my Azumarill. For some reason, I thought I was faster. I'm running a little bit of speed on this Azumarill, solely to outspeed other Azumarill. That way I don't have to deal with speed ties. But, even if I'm running a little bit of speed, Azumarill's base speed is so much lower than a Goodra, that doesn't even matter. Unfortunately, he gets the paralysis on the Thunderbolt, and Manectric comes in. This is my first time facing a MegaManectric. And here I find out that it gets the Intimidate ability, because I was definitely just going to stay in and Aqua Jet it. But I get to pay him back for that paralysis there by getting a critical hit. With the new mechanics of critical hits, of course, only doing 50% more damage instead of 100% more. He's able to live that critical hit, huge power, -1, rather. Actually, the crit would ignore that. But anyways, he's able to live it, and then Volt Switch out. He takes out my Azumarill, which is kind of bad, because I really needed it for this Arcanine. Now, Swalot is one of my favorite poison types, and I was really, really happy to find it in game. And I was actually able to find a shiny one as I was just going through the game. I found a shiny Gulpin, and it was a relaxed nature, so I'm actually able to do something with that nature in the form of my custom Swalot set here. Give it a good bit of HP, a good bit of defense, and a good bit of special defense, and then just force things to switch. And then in the process of forcing things to switch, you can tag something with Infestation. And if they stay in, they fall asleep and they can't switch out. And if they switch out, I can see if, do I want to stay on this or not? Because Swalot can definitely take a couple of hits. Now Heracross comes in on this Infestation here, and I knew he was going to sub most likely. I don't see bulk up on Heracross too often. But I decided to Encore, that way even if he did go for Earthquake or something like that I knew I could live, I could just switch out. And I make a misplay here. I should have stayed in one more turn for one more turn of Infestation. I was looking at the level of HP my opponent had, and I figured he could only make maybe 2 more substitutes before he would be too weak to make a substitute, and then on the 3rd turn of the Encore, of course, which lasts for 3 turns, he would just fail to make a substitute, and then I could knock him out. So that's substitute number 1. Here's substitute number 2 on the next turn, and then it turns out that he has enough to make a 3rd sub. So, unfortunato, if I stayed in one more turn, he would have been a little bit too weak there to make that sub. But now I'm kind of forced to switch out because he can just Stone Edge or Earthquake my Mega Gengar in the face. Didn't really want to deal with that. And I knew Swalot could take it, so he actually ends up going for Stone Edge now that his Encore is over. And that's a critical hit, and it didn't even do half. So that's kind of the prowess of Swalot right there. Now, I knew I could break the substitute with a Sludge Bomb. I was kind of tempted, actually, to go for Encore just to knock him into Stone Edge, and then maybe switch out into something else. But at the same time, I really didn't. If he gets 3 crits in a row, which I have had happen before, I didn't really want to play around with that type of thing with Stone Edge there. So I'm just hoping that he doesn't get another crit. He decides to stay in and get as much damage as possible on my Swalot, which is a good play on his part. My misplay in not staying in earlier for one more turn means that my Swalot is now missing way more HP than it would have been sitting at if I had stayed in one more turn of infestation damage. Now, that being said, I am definitely not going to be able to live a Thunderbolt from a MegaManectric. Maybe at full HP, or at least 75%, but not at 20% HP. Not happening. Now, here's where I thought that Mega Gengar outsped MegaManectric, and I was wrong. He just goes for Snarl and wipes out the majority of my health. And that was a critical hit. I'm not really sure why he didn't go for Thunderbolt. He may have been expecting me to switch. Not completely sure there, but that critical hit means that I am not going to be able to really take any other hit with my Mega Gengar. And that's important because Arcanine is here, and Arcanine hits very, very hard. And I think even if he had not gotten that crit, I probably would not have been able to take a hit, really, from the Arcanine. I get poison hacks on him from the Sludge Bomb there. That's not really going to end up mattering too much in the long scheme of things. Definitely not as much as, say, me getting a critical hit on his MegaManectric or anything like that matter. Even though I don't think that ends up coming into play either. But he just has a Citrus Berry, so he's going to get a good chunk of HP back right there. Kind of reminds me of when Citrus Berries only restored 30 HP, and then they changed it to it restoring a percentage. But all that reminiscing aside, I'm going to go out into Florges here. Florges is a fantastic Pokemon. Everyone who is wetting themselves over Goodra simply overlooks Florges. Florges has a very good support move pool if you run it as a special wall, and it hits hard enough to run offensively like I do here. Now, I figured my opponent was going to go for Flare Blitz, and I knew the recoil might bring him down into a range where I can just stall him out with Wish. There's no real reason to attack if he's going to keep on doing this. And I believe his last Pokemon is Gyarados rather, not Mega Gyarados. He has Manectric, Gyarados, MegaManectric, and Gyarados left besides Arcanine. So, after a Wish, I was thinking, is he going to switch out here? Because he knows I have Protect now. So, if I can hit this Gyarados on the switch in, I can win this battle. But I guessed wrong, and I thought that he would just go ahead and attack again because he was going to die anyway from the poison. So I figured he would want to do as much damage as he could, and then on the off chance that I didn't protect, he would hit me really hard there. But I guessed very, very wrong. And he's able to go for a Waterfall with Gyarados, and we're actually going to end this battle on a crit. That crit probably mattered, but at the same time, I don't think I could have taken another hit from Gyarados. So, that was a pretty fun match. We got to see some new Pokemon there, so thank you very much, Alex, for the match. If you guys would like to challenge him, I'll leave his Twitter link in the description. And I hope you guys have a good weekend. Expect another battle upload tomorrow. And if all goes well, I'll have that breeding guide up on Sunday or Saturday. So, I thank you all very much for posting in the comments. I'm figuring out Google+. They're forcing me to move my YouTube account to Google+, and that interacts with stuff differently. I don't know how to reply to comments. If I don't reply to your comments, that's why, because Google and YouTube are being weird. So I'll figure that out on my end. You guys have a great night. and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Bye now.